If you're holding XRP in the United States, what's happening in Japan right now isn't just news, it's a direct signal. And ignoring it could be one of the costliest mistakes you make with your portfolio.
Yeah, that's right. While the US is kind of stuck debating definitions, Japan is already executing a multi-year strategy that's going to fundamentally change how XRP is treated on the global stage. What's happening over there? It's a direct preview of the forces that are about to impact your portfolio.
And here's the twist, the part that most people are completely missing. While everyone in the West is still arguing over what XRP even is, Japan is already on track to formally redefine it. We're talking about Q2 2026. That's the target for XRP to be regulated as a legitimate investment product. Think about that, putting it on the exact same level as stocks and bonds. In this explainer, we're giving you the complete intelligence briefing from Crypto Global News, so you know exactly what this game plan is and how to prepare.
All right, let's dive into part one, the XRP regulatory shift. And you've got to pay close attention here, because this is the absolute core of Japan's entire strategy. So what's the key to this whole thing? It's this, the Financial Instruments and Exchange Act, or FIEA. Now, this isn't some new flimsy crypto rule they just cooked up. No, this is the main law for all serious financial products in Japan. We're talking stocks, bonds, the whole shebang. By pulling XRP under this act, Japan is basically shouting to the world that XRP is no longer just some speculative token. It's being elevated to a top-tier financial instrument. And what does that do? It unlocks the floodgates for all that institutional capital that's been sitting on the sidelines just waiting for the green light.
And you know, this didn't just happen overnight. Not even close. What we're seeing right now is actually the final phase of a meticulously planned multi-year strategy. Let's look at how they laid the groundwork.
Just look at this progression. It's incredible. This whole thing started way back in 2017. You had a massive consortium. We're talking 47 banks testing Ripple's technology for actual commercial use. That's where they laid the foundation. Now, fast forward to today, you've got the financial giant SBI Group actively pushing regulators and pushing them hard for crypto investment trust approval. So that Q2 2026 target, it's not some random date they pulled out of a hat. It's the culmination of almost a decade of strategic, deliberate planning.
Okay, so the groundwork is laid, the regulations are shifting. How exactly are they going to execute this? Well, it all comes down to a really powerful three-pronged strategy.
And these three pieces, they're designed to work together perfectly. First up, you've got the dual ETF. This is a regulated Bitcoin and XRP product designed to pull in all that big, conservative institutional capital. Second, the RLUSD launch. This is a USD-backed stablecoin that uses XRP as the bridge, basically embedding it directly into the country's financial plumbing. And third, a massive ecosystem fund to just fuel development on the XRP ledger. You see how it works? It's a perfect triangle. You've got access, you've got utility, and you've got growth, all firing on all cylinders.
Let's just stop and think about that number for a second. 1 billion XRP. This is not some small grant program, okay? This is Ripple making a clear, absolutely massive bet that Japan and South Korea are the future hubs for the XRP ledger. They're not just funding a few projects here and there. They are literally buying the future of their ecosystem in that region. And that, in turn, directly fuels the value of the entire network.
Quick question. Are you watching this without being subscribed? Because if you are, you're missing the alerts. You know how the algorithm works. It's going to hide this content next week. So click subscribe right now to stay on the timeline so you don't get left behind.
All right, part 4, the race for dominance. And you need to understand this entire strategy is being fueled by an incredible sense of urgency. This isn't just about some cool new innovation. This is a high-stakes, all-out race for global dominance in digital finance.
And look, you don't have to take my word for it. Just listen to this quote from Yoshitaka Kitao. He's the CEO of SBI Holdings, one of the most powerful financial figures in all of Japan. He said waiting until 2028 for a crypto ETF approval is, and I quote, too late. He's publicly putting immense pressure on regulators, basically telling them waiting is not an option. Why? Because he knows that the first G7 nation to fully integrate these assets gets a massive, almost unbeatable competitive advantage. You know, we're dropping even more intel on this whole situation in our community tab. So I really want to know what you think. Is that 2026 timeline realistic? Or is all this pressure from guys like Kito going to force regulators to move even faster? Head over to the community tab right now and join the discussion. Okay, let's bring this all home. Section 5, your strategic next move. After everything we've talked about, what does this actually mean for you? How does this connect back to your strategy?
Here's the bottom line, especially for every US viewer. What's happening in Japan right now is a leading indicator. The regulatory frameworks they're building, the financial products they're launching, the institutional adoption, it's literally the playbook that other G7 nations, including the US, are going to follow. If you want to stay ahead of this wave, you have to get the intel first. That's why you need to join our private Telegram. You can use the QR code right there on the screen or the link in the description to get updates before they ever hit this channel.
So, Japan is moving to lock in its crypto dominance. It looks like a done deal, right? But our sources are telling us another G7 nation is preparing a major countermove that involves Ripple. The question is, what is it? I break down that entire counter strategy in this next explainer. For the full intelligence briefing, click the card on your screen right now.
Stay ahead in the crypto market. Subscribe now for the latest global news and updates.